welcome to another edition of New Music Today. I'm your host, Corey Robertson, here on the WePodcast Network. Music means so many things to so many different people, and I've said it a million times, there is a place in the space for everyone. For decades, there's been a great genre of music called novelty. Thank you. And welcome to another edition of New Music Today. I'm your host, Corey Robertson, on the WePodcast Network. Music means so many things to so many different people, and I've said it a million times. There is a space and a place for everyone in the music industry. For decades now, novelty songs have had a wonderful place in that space, and there have been some great ones that have led the way. Monster Mash, Ahab the Arab, Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, The Purple People Eater, Fish Heads, Roly-Poly Fish Heads. There's been so many. And that's what today's show is going to focus on. Jon Brett joins me for a basement session here on the WePodcast studios. Appreciate you taking some time, Jon.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What is it behind your music? Where does it come from? You write with a real wicked sense of humor.
I think a lot of it just comes from being a fan of things like growing up with Weird Al,
Right.
And actually I like all different types of music and different types of things, and when you take in a lot of different influences, I guess,
Sure.
You kind of come up with a different view set, I suppose, know. And so when it came to writing music, I mean, I've tried writing music for a long time. And I started writing some of this more, I suppose, novelty music. I guess I started in university. I wrote a song for a campaign that I did to become first year representative of the Music Society at the University of Windsor. Yeah. And I won by a landslide, and so I guess what came from just was my I wanted to entertain people. Sure. and I wanted to kind of get a story across, and I did, and I started writing the songs that I've been playing recently, and they actually did just.
Now you've got a real music background too.
Absolutely,
you're quite classically trained.
Yes, yeah, I got my degree in classical guitar from the University of Windsor. And so I've performed, I play weddings, and parties and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, and I teach as well. I've been doing that for years.
and we'll talk about teaching as well. I've had that conversation with a few artists in the past with a classic background and a penchant for going with a sense of humor in writing your music. I mean, I'll tell you what sticks out to me is Tenacious D.
Right, absolutely. Right? Tenacious D, like the guitar player, classical, yeah, right. Kyle Gass is a phenomenal guitar player, and he kind of melded the novelty music with the classical stuff with like the.
It's rock because he's rock, right?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. This is rock, and it's so yeah, absolutely. Awesome. he mixed that together. And
right.
And I mean, even some of the songs that I play a lot of it finger style, just because that's what I'm most comfortable. The way I hold the guitar is like a classical guitar player.
Right. Now, would one argue that's the proper way, or? Not really.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. I suppose it would be the more proper way for a classical guitar player to play it. But for other styles, I always tell my students that as long as it sounds good, as long as you're playing it
right.
and you're playing it right and it sounds right, then then the technique is depend. But again, depends. My classical teacher might see this and want to strangle me, but
But we're going to do a first on New Music Today here. First time we've had a guest bring in a video for us. We're going to tee it up here in a second. The song is Uni the Unicorn. Just give me a little overview. What is it about?
Well, it's about
Uni the unicorn.
It's about a unicorn that comes down from the sky and then goes on a bit of a rampage.
Wait till you see the video. This is Uni the Unicorn. It's Jon Brett's debut video, and it's right here on New Music Today.
He's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. I'll never forget the day that I met him. It was kind of rainy and so I was getting wet, and so then I ran inside my house to go get my umbrella. When I came back out, the sun was shining bright and yellow. When I looked up, the clouds were parting in the sky. A unicorn slid down a rainbow and began to fly. I was thinking to myself, now it's my lucky day. I've never had another day that started out this way. When I met Uni the unicorn, he's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. He landed at my feet, majestic, strong, and proud. Such a sight was he to see that others gathered round. Before I even knew it, I was up upon his back, waving to the others when he began to attack. Nobody expected it, nor could they comprehend why such a lovely unicorn had started hunting men. I was in shock, the people were stunned. I let out a yell and they started to run from Uni the unicorn. He's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. There was panic in the streets and all throughout the town, for every time he saw a person he would run them down. He would use his mighty horn to knock them off their feet, and if they could not get up, he would try to eat them. I knew I had to do something to make the carnage end, for Uni was not acting like he really was my friend. I had to put a stop to this and think of something quick. I had to keep my newfound friend from acting like a dick. At first I tried to reason with him but got no reply. So then I took my thumb and I jammed it in his eye. He threw me off his back, he was clearly quite annoyed. I was pretty sure that I was next to be destroyed by Uni the unicorn. He's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. Uni the unicorn. He's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. I could tell from how he looked at me, could see it in his eyes, that he was getting hungry and that I would be his prize. And as he charged towards me, I started feeling weak. I cowered in a fetal pose, letting out a shriek. I think it kind of startled him to hear me scream this way, for instead of trying to leave me, he turned and ran away. He started gaining speed and with a leap he took to flight, off into the distance until he was out of sight. And though I kind of missed my friend, he really was a jerk. I don't think I could make a homicidal friendship work. I'm happy that I met him when he came down from the sky. I'm just a little sad I didn't get to say goodbye to Uni the unicorn. He's my favorite unicorn with his purple mane and his golden horn. He's Uni the unicorn. Uni the unicorn. He's my favorite unicorn with his tattered mane and his blood so torn. He's Uni the unicorn.
That is awesome. And a shout out to the good people of downtown Essex, Ontario.
Yeah, absolutely. They allowed us to run amok in the downtown core, a Sunday afternoon, actually 2 Sunday afternoons.
Is there like a Essex, Ontario Film Development
I
Corporation?
guess maybe we should start one. I don't know.
Listen, here's why it works, and here's why songs like this, in my opinion, work. That's a hell of a hook.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's the hook.
Absolutely. And I try to get, when I'm writing music, I focus on first of all being entertaining and then having a hook. If I don't write something that's catchy to me, anyways, because I'm the only one that matters anyway. So, if I can't write something that's catchy, then I either scrap it or I try to rework it.
So, what kind of music did you grow up on?
Well, I mean, I listened to a lot of oldies when I was growing up. My parents always had music going. My family always singing to each other and things like that. So just constantly.
Yeah. What were the oldies?
Oh man, we're going back Motown and things like that. The Beatles. We used to listen to Beatles records. We had like the old record player. It was like red. It looked like a little suitcase, and you open it up, and we used to play the Beatles records and things like that. Yeah. And then we listened to some of this other stuff. I don't remember who it is. It was like, and it was novelty music actually. Now it was like, please, Mr. Custard, I don't want to go. It was about it was and stuff like that. My mom thought it was hilarious, and we used to listen to it all the time. And then I don't these old records. This is going back when I was really young. These old records like Disco Duck and things like that too.
Rick Dees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Disco Duck and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's funny that that I'm doing this now after so many years of this stuff. But then I got into my brother was into like 80s metal and things like that. So hair metal and things. And that took me all the way in through high school and listening to. I got big into Ozzy Osbourne and stuff.
So at what point does that lead to you? I mean, talent-wise, maybe aside, but at what point does that lead you into classical music and really making a commitment to go to school to study classical guitar?
Well, it was actually out of the desire to be a better guitar player. Because I was listening to and trying to play these heavy rock songs and heavy metal songs. I wanted to be better, and one of my favorite guitar players, especially at the time, was Randy Rhoads from Ozzy Osbourne.
Nice.
And he was classically trained, and so I was like, well, I want to be like that guy, and I got it. I was like, I'm going to start taking some classical lessons. And my friend Nathan Wallstead, another local musician, very good guitar player. Not sure if I can do shout outs, but
we're all about shout outs and sellouts for that matter.
There we go.
It's all good.
So he had started taking lessons with a guy named Dominic Bertucci, who was a very, very, very accomplished classical guitar player. And so I started taking lessons with him and decided that I wanted to do music full time. So I decided to go to school and took classical with Stephen Deering, and and again it was a desire to be an even better guitar player, because if I could play classical guitar, then I could play my electric guitar better, or I could play my acoustic guitar better.
Right. And I love that really the springboard is Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Do we do shout outs and sellouts? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes we do. And sponsorships, because when you sponsor the show, you're sponsoring local art, you're sponsoring local musicians, and you're making this kind of thing a possibility. And we really want to thank the Humane Society of Windsor, Essex for stepping up and helping with the show. A chance to win an entire year of free drinks.
Nice.
An entire year of free drinks. This is your chance to win a $1,200 LCBO gift card by supporting a great cause. The Windsor Essex County Humane Society's popular Cheer for a New Year raffle is back. 5 amazing prizes to be won, and tickets are just $3 for $10, and they're available at the Humane Society and several shops. You can check out windsorhumane.org for a full list of participating retailers. windsorhumane.org. The draw is December 27th, so grab your tickets today. Perfect stocking stuffer for yourself to have a fantastic New Year's to remember. A year's worth of free drinks.
Nice.
What would happen to Jon Brett if he had the $1,200 gift card? Would he get wasted?
He would get
white
girl
wasted.
Yes. Nice.
Sometimes the segue.
That was a beautiful segue.
Sometimes
that was excellent.
This is how it works, folks. So I want you to play your next song for me.
Okay.
It's called "White Girl
White
Wasted."
Girl Wasted, yeah.
True story?
Yeah, it's a true story. It's based off of several events in my adult life. And actually, when I finished the song, shortly afterwards, I lived the song at my wife's cousin's wedding, and
Okay.
a lot of this, it was I guess self-fulfilling prophecy is what they call it. So
Love it.
but yeah, you want to hear it?
This is White Girl Wasted. It's Jon Brett doing a basement session here on New Music Today on the WePodcast Network.
You opened the invitation. It said it was a formal affair. You filled out the RSVP card, indicating that we both would be there. You took your younger sister shopping to find yourself the perfect dress. You dropped my suit off at the dry cleaners and took my shirt to get professionally pressed. When that day came, I drove us to the party. On the way, I said I don't wanna go. I said I think tonight is gonna be stupid, and the family is gonna be the only people there, I must admit my mind was changed rather quickly when I found out it was an open bar. I started slow, but there was no way to know that by the end of the night I'd be passed out in your car. This song's about the time that I got white girl wasted. No, I couldn't help myself, it was the best I ever tasted. I was sick of sipping whiskey, so I stole your sister's drink. It was sugary and pink, and I got white girl wasted. You introduced me to some friends of the family. You gave awkward hugs and I shook some hands. After small talk, we went looking for our table and we found our seats according to the plan. First was dinner and then came some speeches about some people I didn't know. So I decided to make trips to the bar. And my collection of empties started to grow. After a while, my vision got kinda blurry. I could hardly tell which drink was my own. I must have grabbed your sister's drink by mistake, but once I took a sip of it, my mind was blown. I didn't know a drink could be so delicious. I downed it and I went for 2 more. I finished those but did some shots of tequila. Then I came back to the table, crawling on the floor. I realized pretty quick that I got white girl wasted. No, I couldn't help myself, it was the best I ever tasted. I was sick of sipping whiskey, so stole your sister's drink, and it was sugary and pink, and I got white girl wasted. You'd had enough of me and said that you wanted to take me home and put me to bed. I wouldn't listen, I still wanted to party, so I took off my tie and I tied it round my head. About that time the whole room started to spin and my stomach had developed an ache. And as you threw me in the back of the car, I started to contemplate if shots were a mistake. I should have said something as you pulled up to the house and you shot me that cold empty stare. but I had to get myself to the bathroom. If I didn't go now, I wouldn't make it there. In between heaves, I tried to apologize while hugging that porcelain throne. It's hard to maintain a conversation while strawberry daiquiri starts coming out your nose. This song's about the time that I got white girl wasted. No, I couldn't help myself. It was the best I ever tasted. I was sick of sipping whiskey, so I stole your sister's drink. It was sugary and pink, and I got white girl wasted. No, I couldn't help myself. It was the best I ever tasted. It was sugary and pink, and I got white girl wasted.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, just again, I love the hook of that. Thanks again, Windsor Humane Society, for sponsoring the show and a chance for you to win an entire year of free drinks. It's your chance to win a $1,200 gift card from the LCBO while supporting a great cause. It's the Windsor Essex County Humane Society's very popular Cheer for a New Year. The raffle is back. 5 amazing prizes to be won. Tickets are 3 for $10, available at the Humane Society all over town as well. The list is available online, windsorhumane.org, for a full list of participating retail locations. Draws December 27th. Grab your tickets today. It's the perfect stocking stuffer, and have yourself a New Year's Eve to remember.
Or that you'll forget.
Or possibly. There's some New Year's, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You look back, and some years are worth remembering, and some you're like, man.
That's right.
Thank God 2007 is gone.
That's right. That's right. You know, and I mean, that's the only reason why I could, I had to piece that song together by several different events, you know. So,
you teach guitar, music. I talk a lot with artists about music being a part of your life and your life being a part of music.
Absolutely.
What is that to you? I
mean, I've always been drawn to music. I wanted to make music my life. You know, and for a little while there, I was professional music. Now I would say I am semi-professional. You know, but I always stick with my music. Yeah. You know, I've been teaching a long time. I teach now at the Lesson Lounge in Leamington for Charles Diab. Great guy. If you guys need anything, it's the best little music shop around. So
absolutely,
you know,
and check out Charles' episode number 3 here on
right, yeah.
New Music Today.
Yep. You know, and so no matter what. Anything that's happened, you know, I've always got music, you know, and it's part of who I am. It's what I do, you know, and it's been
music's there for people.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
It takes you back to points in your life.
Absolutely.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad, and
right?
Sometimes it helps you get through the bad and helps you celebrate the good.
Yeah,
you know.
Talk to me a little bit more about teaching. Why teach?
I love it. I got into it. Just as a way to make a couple extra bucks, you know, and when you're able to impart knowledge to somebody, you know, and to influence them for a positive, you know, in a positive way, you know, there's nothing like it. And I mean, my teacher friends out there would agree, you know, would say that, you know, that's, you know, it's one of the big things about it is the way that you can, you know, I guess. It's rewarding is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm kind of stuttering and trying to figure
There's a
out
moment, though, right? There's a moment where you see the spark.
Absolutely. You know, and when you see that, when you get somebody and they get that aha moment, you know, and it's in the lesson. It's
light goes off.
It's like, whoa, like, oh, like, and they're, oh, that's what you mean. It's like, yeah, that's what I mean. And then all of a sudden they can, they're starting to get the hunger for it. You know, because you know, I'll tell parents, they say, oh, they're not practicing, they're not doing this, they're not. It's like, give it some time. You give it some time, and all of a sudden something will go off. Now, it doesn't always happen, but when it does, that's what you're going for. You know, right. And that's what makes it fulfilling is when a student comes back and they've practiced what you gave them all, and then you know, and they have an idea of where they want to go with it. You know, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be. Difficult. It doesn't have to be grand. It's just, you know, they know what they want to do, and and they're excited about it, and then that makes me excited about it, and then
Right.
I get excited, so they're excited, and everybody gets excited, you know, and,
Right.
that's what happens, you know.
And if you cry, I'm going to cry. And then that's no
Exactly,
good.
and then we're all weeping, you know, and it's like and people walking in like, is everything okay? And it's, well, you know, this teaches such a good lesson. It's so good. You know, but it is. It's really, you know, when you can influence somebody for the better, it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you find kids are coming in wanting it? I mean, a lot of times it's the mom or the dad, you know, saying, you know, oh boy, I took some guitar lessons.
Yeah,
and,
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I you know, taught the boy how to play Smoke on the Water. And,
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's about. I'd say it's about half and half. Sometimes it's the parents want the kids to learn.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a great skill to have.
Well, and beyond just, you know, it's not even about whether or not somebody's going to make a life professionally out of playing music,
Right.
but there's so many other skill sets that come from knowing music. You know, you understand music, you start to understand math better.
Absolutely, you start to understand math better. In a way, music's a language, right? So you are learning another language.
I agree.
You know,
It's 100% it's a language.
Well, absolutely. You know, it's got its own vocabulary. It's got its own, you know, symbols and things like that, which is the same thing as letters.
Great way to put
you
it.
know?
Great way to put it,
So in a sense, they're learning another language. Helps them with math. Helps them with analyzing things. Because I try to go into, you know, once a student gets to a certain point, I try to go in a little bit to the theory side. I don't want to bore them, but you know, we'll analyze music. We'll take a look at what makes the music work, you know,
Right.
And having that ability, you know, that carries over into other things. Being able to analyze, I don't know, like profit and loss sheet and things like that. You know, those are things. They're skills that you develop. You know, you really do.
Oh, yes, the spreadsheets.
The spreadsheets,
Yes,
you know,
Very
so-
good, very good.
But-
Hey, one thing that we've stumbled on in the last couple of basement sessions is the idea of a cover once removed.
Oh yeah.
And if I can make a request.
Sure.
You take requests
I
today?
will take a request.
All right,
yeah.
we need to switch instruments.
We do need to switch instruments. So,
All right, this
Joe,
is awesome.
Joe, I don't know if
No, go.
it's gonna pop. It's not gonna pop.
Can we? He can do it. Yeah.
It's
Joe
okay.
says go
We're
ahead.
good.
and
Okay,
Joe-
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, so
There you go.
yeah, I will switch instruments.
Awesome.
You know, I brought this unicorn over here.
This is this is fantastic. All right. Oh God, it's the ukulele. I love it. So one of the things that one of the things that came out of this conversation from a couple of shows ago, a couple of episodes ago, was the idea that sometimes the cover is better than the original.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Couple that come to mind. Right. There's just been so. I mean, you know, Red Wine is a great example of just the cover is so much better than the original.
Yeah.
If you can believe it, you know, Neil Diamond version.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But there's so many times, and there's a really fun one that I've always loved, and I don't suppose it got all that popular, but there's a Hawaiian artist called IZ, and
Can you pronounce his last name?
can I pronounce the last name? No.
No, me neither.
No, I tried. I tried to pronounce his last name, but it doesn't work out that way. He does a version, believe it or not, of "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" on his uke. By the way, the video you got to look for it because it's absolutely fantastic. The song is fantastic. Can you indulge me?
I can try. Yeah,
Go for it.
I'll do what I can do. Do you need a sound check?
It's a cover. It's a cover of a cover,
Cover
or
of
as
a
we've
cover.
we've come across here, the cover once removed. This is Jon Brett and a version of "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" on New Music Today.
All right. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dared to, why, oh, why can't I see trees of green, red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, brightness of day. Well, I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I? Why?
Cover once removed, Jon Brett doing Iz's version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. Yeah. It kind of reminds me how Soft Cell did that late 80s, early 90s with a little bit of a mashup, Tainted Love into Where Did Our Love Go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very cool that he did that. Before we go, bring our friend in here because Uni is here. Thanks very much for being a part of the new music. There he is.
There he is. There he is. Uni the unicorn himself.
Uni the unicorn.
We got him.
Thanks very much for being a part of the new music today,
thank
John.
You. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure do appreciate it. And thank you to the Windsor Essex County Humane Society for sponsoring the show. Want you to check out my colleagues here, right here on the WePodcast Network. They do the weekly show. Fantastic stuff, kind of whatever hits their minds, whatever's relevant in Windsor, Essex. They're talking about it right here on the WePodcast Network. That's Jon Brett, a part of this week's new music today. Coming up next week, episode 10, Greg Gnip joins me on new music today here on the WePodcast Network.